I always find it kind of confusing or perplexing when somebody says they really want to see a film because it has a certain actor in it or because it has a great cast, because that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good film, right? And that's the topic for today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet, full of all the stuff that I love and this weird hand also. And today, a film with an amazing cast of legendary horror film actors. But does that mean it's a good film? Let's check it out. Today's film is The Black Sleep from 1956, 82 minutes long, beautiful black and white. This one is about a crazy but very talented brain surgeon whose beautiful wife is in a coma. So he is trying to experiment on brains, trying to figure out a way to wake her up out of this state. And in the meantime, he's using something called the Black Sleep, which puts people to sleep. They appear to be dead, and then he revives them later on, and he gets them to help him with his various brain experiments. The director was Reginald Leborg. I have not heard of him, but he did direct the Universal film The Mummy's Ghost. Starring as the brain surgeon is Basil Rathbone. He's really good in this. Very credible. He's taking the material very seriously. In fact, if he didn't, it probably would have been a much worse film. When I think of Basil Rathbone, I think, of course, of the Sherlock Holmes films that he did. His assistant, sort of his Igor in this film, is Akim Tamiroff, the character actor who I mentioned in a previous episode. He was in Black Magic with Orson Welles, and he's very good in this. And he helps Basil Rathbone with his experiments and getting bodies for him and stuff like that. And then you have the rest of the cast, the main rest of the cast, which is why they call this film, I guess, a monster mash or a monster rally. That's when they put a bunch of legendary horror film actors or horror film characters together in one film. And there's so many of those. If you have this Universal Classic Monster Collection, they're all over that. I mean, you have Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, and you have House of Frankenstein, and you have all those Abbott and Costello films where they meet the different monsters. So that's what this kind of is. They threw a bunch of them together. So you have Lon Chaney Jr., who has about 300 film and TV credits to his name, and he plays this guy named Mungo, and he has no lines. He just kind of grunts and stares maniacally at the camera. And of course, I remember him from The Wolfman, and also from a much different film, High Noon, where he plays this sheriff who's retiring. Along with Lon Chaney Jr., I have Bela Lugosi, another iconic horror film actor, and he's like the butler. He doesn't have any lines either. He just kind of makes noises with his mouth. And of course, we know him from Dracula. He also has about 300 film and TV credits. And Bela Lugosi, most people think that Plan 9 from Outer Space was his last film. In fact, that he died during the making of it. Somebody's standing in for him in that. I've never seen that whole film, by the way. But then other people think The Black Sleep was his last film. But I don't know. Listed on IMDb, The Black Sleep is his second to last film. Then you also have John Carradine. He has about 500 film and TV credits, and he's playing his standard kind of crazy old man with the long hair and the long beard. And I was trying to think what I know him best for, and I think he was in so many old TV shows. That's probably what I know John Carradine best for. Then along with that, not at the same level as those guys, you have the big man here. You can see him, Tor Johnson. He was a former wrestler. He was also in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Little trivia for you Southern California folks. His son is a lieutenant in the San Fernando Police Department. Now, as we watch all these iconic characters together in one film, we're hoping they interact, and they eventually do. What happens is there's a secret passageway in the surgeon's castle, whatever this big house is. And you go down the passageway, and there's sort of like a chamber of horrors. And down there are 4 different experiments that kind of went the wrong way. So that's where you have Tor Johnson, and you have John Carradine ranting and raving. Tor Johnson, by the way, doesn't have any lines either. And then you have this guy whose face is kind of half melted away, kind of weird looking. And then you have a woman down there, and they're all chained up, by the way. A woman down there whose half of her hair is shaved off, and then she has little like tufts of hair all over her arms. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be or what that was supposed to mean. But so at the end, you do have them, it's not really a spoiler, but you do have them all kind of interacting with each other. And it's kind of silly and it's kind of ridiculous, but also kind of cool to see all these, legendary guys kind of messing around with each other, these grown men. This is not really an atmospheric film like a lot of those Universal classic monster films are. It's pretty low budget, it looks like to me. There is one weird shot that's kind of surprising of him. He opens up a guy's head, and then you see the close-up of his brain, and he cuts into it with a scalpel, and this fluid, they call it cerebral fluid, comes flowing out of it. I was kind of surprised for 1956 they would show a close-up of something like that. There's only it looks like a handful of sets. Maybe they used 6 different sets in this film, and then there's maybe 2 exterior shots, and those exterior shots are so obviously painted that it even looks like the painting wasn't even done. It looks like something out of a cheap storybook or something. So that's kind of funny to look at. So, I watched this on a lark. It was late at night. I just wanted something that was not going to be too long, that was going to be like cinematic comfort food, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, but here we go, Black Sleep. I'd seen it listed several times on the Kino website and finally went for it. So, sentimental value. It's entertaining. It's nothing, groundbreaking. It's fun. I'm going to give this one 3 brains out of 5. Now, what's on this disc? This is a Kino disc. Visually, it looks good. There are a couple of glitches here and there. The audio seems okay. One thing I didn't like was there were no English subtitles. And I know this is not Arthur Miller or Tennessee Williams or David Mamet quality dialogue in this thing, but I like to put the subtitles on because I can't always understand the dialogue or hear the dialogue with some of these films. So there are no subtitles, but I managed somehow. There's a commentary track, which I did not listen to, and a handful of trailers, and that's about it. So where can you see The Black Sleep? Well, I bought this during the recent Kino Shocktober sale for $10. I would say $10 is about the most you want to spend on this. It's got a great cover, by the way, and otherwise I wouldn't spend more than $10 on this thing. So if you're a fan, I think it'll be worth it for you. You can also see this on Pluto and Tubi, neither of which I'm real familiar with, and you can try renting it, and you can even try your local library. So there we go, The Black Sleep. Feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down here. Maybe a film you saw with an actor you really liked or a cast and just kind of fizzled, no good. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. We're about 3 subscribers away from our next goal of 350. So feel free to subscribe. No charge to you. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.